David's only a few days on since that victory on Saturday. I saw you obviously pictures in the bar the night away, but after celebrating, have you had a chance to really sit down, reflect on how big an occasion it was, really?
It always helps, I suppose, from especially from my perspective. If we're staying up and we win, it helps, because it means you can go and have a drink, you can have something to eat, and the place is lively and the place is happy. In terms of as a game, will be good for the players and certainly for belief, certainly for confidence, certainly for asking questions of them. But at the end of the day, it's another 3 points. Great to back up the Bradford result and Bradford performance in different circumstances this time, but we have to take a lot from it. Although, like I say, it only gives us 3 points at the table, makes it really tight, keeps us up in a good area in terms of how it looks, and takes us into a tough game at the weekend in good spirits.
We spoke about it a few games ago, how big of a month it was going to be. You mentioned it there, 2 wins within the space of a week. That's huge, isn't it? For any team to get 2 wins in 1 week in this league, it's huge. It's massively difficult, but we've done not just won both games, but especially the Bradford game and obviously the second half of Harrogate. We played really well in both against really good teams.
Yeah, we've over the course of the 2 games, we've had realistically a poor 25 minutes from our perspective, which put us with a task against us certainly on Saturday. This month, in terms of you look at fixtures and how things run, was always going to be a tough one. Again, once you get to the back end of this month, you then look at next month and recognise and realise that things don't get any easier. With even not looking beyond Saturday, going there is a really tough game, but obviously a couple of cup ties, and then within November we play Forest Green, league leaders, we play Port Vale second, Swindon, Newport, all teams that are in and around us in the table. So with that, hopefully at the time, brings challenges but brings opportunities. It doesn't take away from the fact that our focus is Saturday, which is a really tough game, a great game to play in. They've obviously done an offer in terms of, I think, football for a five, and it is sold out, and we've told a good portion of the tickets ourselves. So I'm sure the place will be bouncing. Having played there previously, it is the type of ground that the atmosphere is really good. So certainly from a player's perspective, it'll be a really good one to play in. It'll be a really good challenge for us, and it'll be another group of questions that we need to answer. And I'm confident we've got the answers. Hopefully we can go and show that on Saturday.
We'll come on obviously that Leyton Orient game in a second. I just want to reflect a little bit back on Saturday. Obviously half time 2-0 down, and you made the decision at 2-0 down to one, bring on a defender, and 2, go 5 at the back, which a lot of people at other clubs and other fans might frown upon, but it's obviously a system we're very much used to, and bringing on Gary Little in it worked a treat. But what was the thinking behind that?
We started the game really well. I think sometimes as a manager, you try systems or try personnel in different areas of the pitch that work. Once you've got a positive result, you're almost not obliged to play that again, but you want to stick as best as you can to that because you've got a success. On the back of that, I thought we started the game unbelievably well. For 15 minutes we were dominant, had a couple of opportunities, which they're probably at times this season where you do get them opportunities, we've not taken them, and we've lived to regret them. That almost looked like what Saturday would potentially or could potentially have been, and we concede the goals, and we're up against it for the back end of the second half. Half time comes at a good time for us in terms of being able to get in and I suppose calm the situation down in terms of where lads are mentally, but also when people need telling, because the goals from our perspective were really poor. One down to a concentration aspect which for us is unacceptable, and then you've got a decision to make in terms of what you're going to get out of the game, how you can potentially get back in the game, and what's the best way to go about it. Is it to stay with the system we had, keep ourselves with an overload and almost defend against them 3v2, but with 2v2 at the back and 1 in front, which Fed was, or do you potentially, I suppose, go and play with a back 3 and almost say, well, the back 3 take care of their 2 out of possession, but rather than have 2 and 1 in front, you've got 2 and 1 behind, and gives you a little bit more cover from them potentially winning second balls. Also adding that gives us more experience with lids going in there, like I say, a system that we're used to, leaves us a little bit more, I suppose, secure. If they're dropping in as two banks of 4, as they do defensively, leave 2 up the pitch, then we've got 3 to deal with it. But you ultimately need the players to go out and still believe there's something there. Whether that's scoring early as we did, or whether that takes 25-30 minutes, the next goal in the game was always going to be massively important. Thankfully we got that, and momentum then shifted completely in the game, and we went on the type of run that we put together at times last year, where one thing leads to another, momentum we kept going, and we got 3 goals in a short space of time, which ultimately wins us the game. And from that point on, I thought we managed it really well, with, like I say, some tired bodies out there, and with some lads that have come back from injuries that, in all honesty, we're probably a bit cautious of getting 90 minutes into.
As you said, Leyton Orient this weekend, you mentioned that they're putting an offer on, they're expecting a huge crowd, a great atmosphere. What are you expecting from them though, as a team going into this game?
A really tough game. Again, change there over the past couple of years. I went there as again, National League manager with Fylde. Atmosphere is brilliant. They really are a group of supporters similar to ourselves that support a team through thick and thin, in terms of whether it be through 90 minutes. So they've, again, as a club, have got themselves back to where they believe they should be and have aspirations of going higher. I've obviously got a really experienced manager in who's had really good success. Have changed the squad quite significantly over the past few years, certainly in terms of selling players and players going on to perform at championship level. Have started well. Will be one of the teams that expect to be up there competing, and we know what it's going to be, about. That a team that can, I suppose, do both sides, that are a big physical side and can play direct and play into a target centre forward, if you like, but also got good footballers. So we know it's a tough ask, but like I say, from our perspective, we're in a good place, and we've got to make sure that continues. You've
obviously got a few selection for this weekend. Neil Byrne suspended, but any other injuries that might know of?
No, we're early in the week, so we're still sort of 72 hours out from the game. So any potential injury we've got a little bit of time to hopefully clear up. The only one who's a question mark actually will be Jamie, with coming off in the game, and we'll have to see how he is. Apart from that, we're in decent shape, but ideally you want to go in the game and not make any changes in terms of personnel. Through injury suspension, as was the case throughout the course of the season, you have to do that. Players then need to step in and do a job and take their opportunities.
Okay, thanks very much.
Cheers, thank you.